Before we get this presentation underway, Black Men Being Brutally Honest would like to remind you of this one very important thing. Stop simping.
Real ugly. Real goddamn ugly.
Hello, this is Kev, and this is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. And before anything you do, like this video. If you haven't, go below the screen, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and yes, let's get into this. Oh yeah, I was gonna get around to this one right here. Ba-Loni Love has caught some heat on social media for what seems to be some self-hatred comments that she made about black men. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and be the first one to admit that it just doesn't seem like it's that big a deal when a black woman comes on a national television platform or any platform that has reaches out to thousands, maybe millions of people and denounce black men. In fact, speaking for black men, I should say that if there's a black man out there that is not used to this already, then or at least acknowledges its existence and doesn't act like, well, you know what, I don't pay attention to that because I have a thick skin and, you know, blah blah blah. I mean, I just gotta say, if you're not one of those people, at least one of those people, then you know exactly what's going on. And it's just that there is a bit of damage control that has to be done when things like this happen. Not damage control in the way that I'm going to clear it up or try to interpret what she said as something else. Like, it was different when Toni Braxton said men are the new bitches, because she was dissatisfied with being treated equally. Now, I have a video about that, that you can check out. I'll put the link in the description below. But this right here ain't the first time that a black woman has come out and publicly denounced black men as far as relationships and in general. There have been plenty of black women to do this in the past 3, 4, 5, 10 decades. Shit. Let's just go ahead and say it, decades. They've been doing this for decades. And what Lonely Love said is just no different. It's a big social media outcry that your typical average black female that frequents social media and even owns platforms, yeah, they've got into it too. It's an anti-black man sentiment. And as of late, it's been getting a much harder and harder push, especially since the increase of the SYSBM movement, which is not really so much a movement, is more of a mindset. Let me take me in mind, and if you want the community to burn down, that's on you. But we over here okay. But here's what I've explained to certain people, individuals. And this is just male and females. This is not me just talking at females. I've told men this too. Black women, if they want things to change with black men, as far as what's going on right now, they are going to have to start making the case for themselves. I'm sorry. You spend all this time focused on famous black men who date out and try to use them as the examples of what you're talking about. Oh, these black men, they going to white women. Or you go the other way. Oh, these black men are not good enough. They're ashy. They're losers. They've been defeated by the white man. And this is, I think this is the direction that Lonely Love went in. And it's always because they're upset about something that somebody said to them. Maybe somebody said something to her about her husband. Because what we do, we have a tendency in this community to do, is that we punish black men who date out and marry out. We punish them. We punish them for eternity. It's like, I bet you Patrick Patterson can't, like the NBA player Patrick Patterson that recently called that man's wife a bulldog, and then all these black women was like, he called a black woman a bull, he calling black women bulldogs, which wasn't what he did. But, you know, the reason why people were saying that he called black women bulldogs is because they punished him for marrying a white woman. It was like he wouldn't have got that woman if he was working at Walmart. So the fuck what? You probably wouldn't have married him either. But one thing I think we're dealing with Ba-Loni Love and what I'm about to play, as far as the video I'm about to show you, I think we're looking at a massive amount of psychological projection. Now, the Freudian definition of psychological projection basically just states, in more or less words, all the bad stuff, or all the things that I am self-conscious about me, and all the stuff that I think is bad and negative that I'm doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore the fact that I'm doing it. I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it on someone else and say that's what they are doing. And that's how they think. This ain't me. And it's a huge bit of projection, because like that little photo right there that I got in the bottom right-hand corner, that photo has gone viral. Black people won't stop posting it, especially black women. Date who you want, but shut the fuck up about black women. Okay, that's the condition. That's what they want. They didn't necessarily mean they were going to shut the fuck up about you. And that's why we have such a breakdown in this conversation. You're dealing with a bunch of women that just want to say what they want to say. It's unbelievable. As a man, I was taught by both my dad and my mom not to back down for shit. Why am I backing down? Because I'm a man, I'm supposed to take punches? No. I'll say what I want. And the fact of the matter is, you got more and more women coming out like Ba-Loni Love saying bullshit like this because they're upset because black men have been expressing themselves. And the word is getting out. So, without further ado, let's watch this bullshit that she said. Yes, it was pretty stupid. And it's like this. Right is right. I don't care what a very small number of black men have done on their social media posts. It is stupid to generalize an entire group of people. So all the little big chicks out there say, oh, but black men do it too. I don't give a shit about any of that. So let's watch what Ba-Loni Love has to say. All right, roll that footage. What footage? This is an edited video. But anyway, here you go.
Black community, I don't speak for the black community, but I do think that a lot of black men, they really don't know how to have true, faithful relationships. They think because they have money, because they have power, that they can treat women any kind of way.
Lonnie Love is saying things.
And that is something we need to work on. We need to work on that money and power does not mean that you can just do whatever you want to do.
I think sadly in so many cultures that is the whole machismo thing, like that goes across the board, but I'm going to say...
No, it's not across the board, because what is happening is that we are still dealing with the point of slavery, and we are descendants of slavery, and because our families were broken up, we still do not have an idea of how to have together families, because our families were broken up.
Yes,
and until we really
from that perspective, I absolutely
and
not
just
slavery, welfare reform in the 60s and stuff. Like this is a long.
So when you hear, because I want to say, when you hear Joe Budden say, he worked so hard, it's not a bad thing. He's saying, Kevin don't want to be poor no more. Okay? So he's like, let me go out here and make this money because I don't want to go back to where I was in Philly. So what he was saying was he was using it as an excuse, and we modernize it and say, but that's not, no, but you got to understand the whole psychology behind it. That's the reason why he's working so hard, because he don't want to go back to where he came from.
Okay, let's just go ahead and break down what she said. Now, here's Lonely Love right here, pictured with her boyfriend of a year, James Welch. And she recently did an interview, like she did very many interviews about her relationship to this guy. Most recently stating that she has yet, even though they've been dating for a year, she has yet to meet his children. Okay, but that's really besides the point. Let me ask y'all a question. What happened to if you decide to date out, you can't speak on the black community? Now, not only you have Lonely Love doing this, you have a whole slew of black women saying, expressing their disdain for being in relationships with black men. You also had Eve make comments on Chris Brown. Yeah, so it seems like to me that y'all need to change that too. And mean it too, because that's all y'all say, is that black men are the ones that can't say anything and they decide to date out. But, people like Lonely Love are allowed to, I guess. So let's break down step by step what she said in that convoluted mess. Now, when she stated that she can't or doesn't speak for the black community, she should have just stopped right there. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you, she should have just stopped right there. But then she starts to go in on her little diatribe. She said, I think a lot of black men don't know how to be in a true faithful relationship. Yeah, because probably it hasn't worked out between you and black men, and I can figure out a couple things why, and a couple reasons why. And then, without explaining why she thinks this, she goes into saying that they think just because they have money and because they have power that they can treat women any kind of way. Now, every time I hear a woman say that, I don't interpret it like, okay, he's using his power and money to try to treat the woman any kind of way. I think what happens is when a man is more successful and more driven, there's not too much a bitter ass woman can do to control that black man. He can skedaddle if he wants to. He doesn't have to take your shit. And then just like chicks on social media always do, Amanda Seales starts to put the battery in her back. Oh, Lonely Love is saying things. Like, what kind of things? Here's what I believe happened between Amanda Seales and Russell Simmons. She got smug with him, he got smug right back, and then she started playing victim. Now, for those of you who want to check out that, go ahead and Google it, check Amanda Seales, Russell Simmons, and she basically almost took Russell Simmons out. Seriously, period. As powerful as Russell Simmons is, words almost took down Russell Simmons. And Amanda Seales is a piece of garbage anyway, because Amanda Seales is like, she's very opportunistic. When it's time to talk about black men, she's right there. Then, now Lonely Love, who has dated this white man for over a year, happily in her interracial relationship that she has done a dozen hundred interviews on, she starts making suggestions for black men, like every black woman on the planet does. We need to work on that. That we need to work on that. Power and money does not mean you can do whatever you want. No, it doesn't. But at the same time, here's more projection. And I'm gonna say this, if you act like a bitch around a man who has money and options, he's going to skedaddle. This is probably what happened with Lonely Love repeatedly, just like with a lot of these women around here. They act like bitches. They get rejected after, giving up sex a few times because they don't want to straighten up their fucking attitudes. It sounds like to me that Lonely Love just wants to be able to control a man or bring black men under the absolute control of black women through all of this unnecessary shaming. And Adrian, and Adrienne Bailon, I think her name is, bless her heart. She was like, well, the whole machismo thing is across the board. Like basically saying that, there are other groups of men that have this problem as well. Meaning that basically when a person, not just a man, gets power and money, that their attitudes tend to change. But what Ba-Loni Love does is she circles it right back around and says, no, it doesn't. No, it don't. It doesn't. No, it's not across the board. Like she, like when black women are adamant on TV about saying stuff about black men, they're going to make sure that you know that they are talking about black men. Period. Black men in general, black men as a whole, some black men, it does not matter to them. They will say black men. This is why I don't understand why brothers always got to feel like they got to say not all, or we need to stop talking about these women. No, nigga. I'm going to tell you just like this. And I've said this before. The finger will stop being pointed when guess what happens? When all the black children right now who are children grow up to be adults and black people stop procreating. Then it'll be clear who you can point the finger at, because the blame can't help but to go in one direction. These women are just upset because these dudes aren't taking this shit anymore. And I mean, like, yeah, it's been a long time coming. But after she circles back around and says, no, Adrienne, no, it's not across the board, she expresses her level of disdain for black men further by doing what it's like when they don't have a tangible, then they start to bring up historic continuity such as slavery. Yeah, because slavery and because so many families have been broken up, and we basically trying to say that we can't find who we are, and it's like none of that shit. And then Amanda Seales follows up with, with Jim Crow and all this other crap, and like none of that shit has to do anything to do. Like none of this stuff is connecting. Like, this is what it's like to look at women speak sometimes. Now, I'm not like I said, you gotta be the black man that says not all for these women, even though they're not gonna say not all for these men, unless it's obligatory as hell. But henceforth comes the real reason why she says all this dumb shit. Because she's triggered by what Joe Budden said about Kevin Hart's expressing his infidelity in his new Netflix special. Joe Budden basically said, I understand why men cheat, because, he works so hard. I mean, he ain't at home but like 10 seconds, and, I've been like caught up in that situation too. And, just, and then, and then it does kind of remind me of this young lady that once said that she believed that the reason why the black community is failing is because black men started cheating. Okay, so, they got cheated on, and what? The women just automatically became knuckleheads? The fuck? But, back to Lonely Love, she was so triggered that she decided that instead of just attacking Joe Budden, she decided that she wants to attack black men as a group. This is why she's so fucking stupid. The massive generalization that she made about black men. Sure, there are black men who cheat. There are. But the way I feel like this is projection is basically, I think she's trying to make an excuse or excuses for her dating choice. Now, let me just go ahead and say this, and I think I speak for a lot of brothers. We don't care if black women date out. We do not care. If Bria Miles broke up with her white boyfriend, there would be black men lined up to see if they can smash that. If I can't say the same thing for Lonely Love, if she breaks up with Mr. Welshire, then hey, you know what? Good luck finding happiness, because black men probably are not going to be lining up for you.
Oh, it's true! It's damn true!
But I will say this, about Miss Ba-Loni Love. She's not going to be scrutinized and punished constantly and severely. It's not going to be like Simone Sanders saying that black men's unsolicited opinions are not needed. It's not going to be like when Kenya Moore says she's done with black men. It's not going to be like when Lizzo said she was done with black men. You know, granted that Lizzo has done so much more since then. It's not going to be like when Leslie Jones said, fuck black men. It's not going to be like, it's not going to be like Tiffany Haddish saying black men just don't want her to shine. Yeah. But all I got to say is this. Although they need to shut the fuck up, keep it coming. Keep it coming. I like when people reveal themselves. I really do. I really do. It's like alcohol. It's like what black men say is making you reveal how you truly felt in the first place. But see, here's the thing. Black men already knew this. We've been knowing it for decades. We like a certain kind of woman. And if you pay attention to what these brothers are actually saying, you would know what kind of black woman you need to be. To even prevent, to be the kind of woman that you feel like a black man won't cheat on. What kind of woman do you feel like you need to be? Okay, because guess what? Here's a double standard that you're probably not going to admit to. When a man cheats on a woman, guess what? He's a piece of shit. He's a dog. All this, all that. Yeah, fuck him. Blah, blah, blah. And you know what? I don't mind that because that's some wrong shit. But have you ever heard when a woman cheats that the man wasn't doing enough to keep her around? Like, there's a lot of brothers that look at that lame dude who they think is lame with that fine ass girlfriend or wife. And the first thing these dudes say, oh man, he ain't hitting that right. You get my picture here? You getting the picture? See, a guy like that who tries can get cheated on and no one would care. They'll like, she'll move on to the next man and that'll be it. Nothing else to be said about it. But how is that not doing damage to the community? But you're saying that a guy that black men have been damaged since slavery. Since slavery and we've got to stop using slavery for everything every time we get mad at somebody. And I know that there might be a bit of hypocrisy on the black man's part because we use the word bed wench. And speaking of bed wenches, I'm glad she brought slavery up, as a matter of fact. So you're talking about slavery, but you're doing what bed wenches do. Yes, you are submitting to massa on a nightly basis. If it is nightly. This guy looks kind of old. Like the prescription needs to be filled or something, if you know what I mean. But hell, you know what? I don't want to make it seem like I'm throwing salt on their relationship because I'm sure they're happy. And I don't care who dates who. I pride myself on that. And I can say this about us black men. We don't care if black women date out. We don't care. Black women obviously do care if we date out. And it's so obvious. I don't understand why everybody thinks that if you say that you don't do something, like you don't care, that it's supposed to make it true. Even though there's so much evidence to the contrary. Damn. It's like you can't even say Donald Glover's name in black spaces without someone saying, oh, he don't like black women, he like white women. It's like there's nowhere that states that Donald Glover said he didn't like black women. Nowhere. But somebody will say it anyway. But yet you don't care. You don't care. This like Lonely Love will probably be forgotten about next week. I mean, seriously, like, black men didn't even care. Honestly, black men didn't care about who Ba-Loni Love was last week. Like, we didn't care about who Lizzo was until a few months ago. Like, we really don't care. We don't care. It's just that we see the dumbass narratives that are being pushed these days. We see it. And it's like, it's to the point where, you know what? I don't even want them to stop now. I just want y'all to keep saying dumb shit so I can keep making videos about it. And then, like, then the little, oh yeah, let me get to the simps. Let me get to the simps, okay? Okay, simps, listen up. You can get mad all you want about a black man mentioning a black woman or black women. If they are saying, black women are saying this about black men, and you sit alongside black women while they're saying it, then what is your agenda really? Are you trying to help, or are you trying to keep things fucked up? Are you an agent of chaos? Are you an agent of change? I'm sorry, these men can speak out as much as they want. Seriously. We can keep breaking it down, we can keep debunking it, and we can predict, and we can always present our evidence in our case. But see, the problem with stupid people like simps and these bitter ass gender first women, the problem with that is they were so used to it being the other way around. And this is like what these women are doing now in the media. This is like Custer's last stand. And what I'm saying right now, it's a great thing. It really is. I had to sit down and think about it. You know, another YouTuber was like, oh, it's a great thing. Shout out to my boy Edward. But it really is. It's like I had to really just sit back and think about it. This is some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. It really is. Because they can't sit up there and actually believe that what they're saying is intelligent and that's actually going to solve the problem. Y'all just look like petty children doing this kind of thing. So don't be Ba-Loni Love, people. Just common sense.